What if I told you that the self you hold on to, the one you've spent your entire life protecting, nurturing, and defining, is nothing more than a story, a mirage crafted by your mind, a fleeting shadow mistaken for substance? And yet, this illusion, this fragile sense of me, is the very thing keeping you from seeing the vast, boundless truth of who you truly are. Let's pause for a moment. Think about those moments of doubt, those whispers of disconnection you feel deep inside, when the roles you play, the masks you wear, feel suffocating. You may wonder, who am I really? What lies beneath this constant chatter in my mind? These questions aren't signs of confusion. They are the quiet calling of your soul, urging you to wake up to something far greater. The truth is, you are not the isolated self you've come to believe in. Beneath the noise of identity, beyond the stories of I and mine, lies something infinite, a presence, a connection, a profound unity with all that exists. When you begin to glimpse this truth, the weight of separateness dissolves, and you realize you've never been alone, never been apart. You're about to uncover a truth that has the power to shift your life entirely. It's a perspective that dissolves anxiety, deepens your connection to the universe, and reveals the infinite essence of who you truly are. The journey begins here, not in the mind's endless search for answers, but in a willingness to let go. Are you ready to see beyond the illusion? To remember the truth that's always been waiting within you? Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss insights like this. The sense of self feels so real, doesn't it? It's the voice in your head narrating your life, the one that says, I am this, I want that, I fear this. But what if that voice is not you? Neuroscience tells us something fascinating. The self is not a fixed entity, but a dynamic construction created by your brain. Studies like the effacement illusion have shown that the boundaries of the self can be altered with something as simple as synchronized sensory input. For example, participants who saw a face stroked in sync with their own skin began to feel that the other face was theirs. This reveals that our sense of self is not absolute. It's malleable, a kind of mental story shaped by perception. This illusion serves a purpose. The brain constructs the self to help you navigate the world, to differentiate between me and not me. It's a useful tool, but like any tool, it's not the truth. It's a means to an end. Spiritual teachings like Buddhism have known this for centuries, calling it anatta, or no self. They teach that clinging to this false sense of self is the root of suffering because it isolates you from the flow of life. What's truly profound is how this aligns with your experience. Have you ever felt like you were more than your body, more than your thoughts, like something boundless and infinite? That's because you are. The self is just the mask, and understanding this opens the door to freedom. Now let's go deeper into the science that reveals how consciousness connects everything and where your true nature lies. So if the self is an illusion, what does that say about the nature of reality itself? To understand this, we turn to quantum physics, a field that has uncovered truths that are as mystical as they are scientific. Here's the mind-bending part. Reality behaves differently when you observe it. This is known as the observer effect, a phenomenon where particles exist in a state of probability until someone or something measures them. Only then do they decide where to be. Now pause and think about that. The universe, at its smallest scales, is not a collection of solid, fixed objects. It's a dynamic, interconnected field of possibilities, influenced by consciousness itself. Physicist David Bohm described this as the implicate order, a hidden wholeness beneath what we perceive as separate forms. According to Bohm, what we see as distinct parts of reality are simply expressions of a deeper, unified field. What's even more intriguing is the OR model, proposed by Penrose and Hameroff, which suggests that consciousness itself arises from quantum processes in the brain. If true, this would mean your thoughts are not just electrical signals, they are deeply tied to the quantum fabric of the universe. You are both an observer of reality and a participant in its unfolding. Spiritual teachings have echoed this truth for millennia. When Taoism speaks of the Tao or Advaita Vedanta describes Brahman, they are pointing to the same interconnected wholeness. The idea that there is no separation, that everything is one, resonates not only with spiritual seekers, but with the most cutting-edge science. But what does this mean for you? It means that the boundaries you feel, between yourself and others, between you and the universe, are not real. They're constructs. And once you realize this, you can begin to see life for what it truly is, a vast, interconnected dance of energy and consciousness. Science may point us toward the interconnected nature of existence, but spiritual traditions have been exploring these truths for thousands of years. Teachings from Buddhism, Advaita Vedanta, and Taoism offer profound wisdom that aligns seamlessly with what quantum physics and neuroscience now reveal. Take Buddhism's concept of anatta, or no self. It teaches that clinging to the idea of an independent, unchanging self is the root of suffering. The self, according to Buddhism, is like a flame, ever-changing, never static, always dependent on other factors. This parallels what neuroscience shows. The self is not fixed, but a fluid construction of the mind. Similarly, Advaita Vedanta emphasizes the illusion of separateness. It teaches that your true essence, Atman, is not the individual self, but the infinite consciousness of Brahman, the ultimate reality. The boundaries you feel between yourself and the world are like waves in an ocean, appearing distinct but made of the same water. And then there's Taoism, which speaks of the Tao, the unnameable source of all things. Taoist philosophy reminds us to flow with life, to stop resisting what is, because resistance comes from the illusion of separateness. When you see yourself as part of the whole, life begins to unfold effortlessly, like a river finding its course. These teachings resonate deeply with quantum physics. If the universe is a unified field of energy, then the distinctions we see between people, objects, or even moments are illusions created by perception. But this isn't just a concept to understand intellectually. It's an invitation to experience reality differently, to feel, in every moment, the unity of all things. So what happens when you embrace these truths? The sense of isolation fades, replaced by a profound connection to the world and to others. And with that, the struggles tied to ego and separateness begin to dissolve. Let's move now to how this understanding can transform your everyday life in practical, tangible ways. Let's bring this understanding into the realm of everyday life. After all, knowledge is transformative only when it's lived. How can this perspective reduce your struggles, deepen your relationships, and guide you toward greater peace and purpose? First, let's talk about anxiety. So much of our worry stems from identifying with the self, the I that needs to control, plan, and protect. But when you understand that the self is just a mental construct, those fears lose their grip. Mindfulness practices like meditation help quiet the ego's chatter, allowing you to rest in the awareness that there is nothing to defend, nothing to cling to. Studies show that consistent meditation can reduce activity in the brain's default mode network, which is associated with self-referential thinking and rumination. The result? A profound sense of inner calm. Then there's empathy. When you realize that the boundaries between you and others are illusions, your capacity for compassion expands naturally. The struggles you see in others become mirrors of your own, and judgment gives way to understanding. Practices like loving-kindness meditation, which encourage you to send goodwill to others, can deepen this sense of connection. Neuroscience backs this up. Such practices have been shown to increase activity in brain regions linked to empathy and emotional regulation. Understanding the illusion of self also brings clarity and focus. Without the ego constantly pulling you into unnecessary conflicts or comparisons, your mental energy can align with your higher purpose. Visualization techniques and affirmations can amplify this clarity by shifting your attention from the false self to your infinite potential. You begin to see yourself not as a separate, struggling individual, but as a co-creator of your reality, aligned with the flow of universal energy. And finally, this perspective fosters a profound sense of peace and unity. When you let go of the illusion of separateness, you stop fighting against life. Instead, you move with it, trusting that you are a part of something vast and divine. This doesn't mean passivity, it means alignment. In this state, challenges become opportunities for growth, and even the mundane moments of life feel infused with meaning. The tools are simple: daily meditation, practicing gratitude, observing your thoughts without attachment. These aren't just practices, they're doorways to a freer, more connected way of living. And as you integrate them, you'll find that your life begins to reflect the truth of who you are. not a separate self, but an integral part of a boundless, infinite universe. Today, we've unraveled a truth that bridges science, philosophy, and spirituality. A truth that challenges everything you thought you knew about yourself and the universe. This isn't just an idea, it's a gateway to transformation. But knowledge alone isn't enough. True change happens when you live this understanding, when you practice mindfulness, reflect on your interconnectedness, and begin to see the world through new eyes. As you do, you'll feel lighter, freer, and more connected to the boundless energy of existence. Now I want to ask you something. What does this truth mean to you? How does it shift the way you see yourself or the world around you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your journey, your voice, could spark someone else's awakening. You have no idea how powerful your story could be to someone who needs it right now. And don't let this be the end of your exploration. Subscribe and become part of this incredible community of seekers and explorers. Together, we're uncovering the mysteries of existence and stepping into a deeper understanding of life's infinite possibilities. There's another video waiting for you, one that will take you even further down this path of awakening. Click now to keep discovering. The universe is vast, yes, but so are you. The illusion is fading, and the truth is calling.